You know that feeling, right? That deep, almost magnetic pull toward your twin flame, and that equally intense frustration when they seem to be running in the opposite direction. And these is a question that comes up often. How do I get my twin runner to reach out? Before we dive into the specifics, really sit with this truth. The very desire to make your twin flame contact you might be the very thing keeping them at a distance. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But in the complex world of twin flame dynamics, sometimes the most powerful moves are the ones that seem to go against our natural instincts. In this reading, we're going to explore not just what you can do, but more importantly, what you might need to stop doing. We'll look at why traditional reaching out strategies often backfire, and what spiritual growth opportunities are actually hiding behind this challenging situation. Because let's face it, this journey isn't just about reunion, it's about revolution, the complete transformation of your inner world. Well, let's dive in together with open hearts and minds and explore what it really means to create space for authentic twin flame connection. You know that moment when you're trying to remember something important, and the harder you try, the more it slips away. Then the second you stop trying, boom, it pops right into your mind. That's exactly how the paradox of doing nothing works in the twin flame journey. Here's the beautiful truth that most people miss. The most powerful action you can take is to stop taking action altogether. I know, it sounds completely counterintuitive. But let me paint you a picture of what's really happening beneath the surface. Imagine you're holding a butterfly in your closed hands. The more tightly you grip, trying to keep it close, the more likely you are to crush its delicate wings. But when you open your palms and stay perfectly still, you create a safe space where it might choose to rest. Your twin flame connection works in exactly the same way. The moment you let go of what you're desperately holding on to, you create space for what's truly meant for you to enter. This isn't just some fluffy spiritual quote. It's a profound truth I've witnessed countless times in my life. When you're constantly trying to make something happen, checking their social media, orchestrating accidental meetings, sending subtle or not so subtle messages through mutual friends, you're actually creating energetic interference. It's like trying to tune into a radio station while standing next to a powerful electromagnetic field. All you get is static. One woman spent 2 years trying everything she could think of to get her twin flame to reach out. Nothing worked. Then, after a particularly intense meditation session, she finally surrendered completely. It felt like putting down the heaviest backpack I'd ever carried, she told me. 3 weeks later, her twin flame contacted her out of the blue. Here's what's actually happening on an energetic level. When you stop trying to control the connection, you allow the natural magnetic pull between twin flames to function without interference. It's like stepping away from a compass and letting it naturally align with true north. Remember, your twin flame connection exists beyond physical reality. It's written in the stars, encoded in your DNA, woven into the fabric of your soul. You don't need to manage it, control it, or make it happen. Your job is simply to get out of its way and let divine timing work its magic. So, I invite you to try something radical. Absolutely nothing. Let go completely. Trust that what's meant for you cannot possibly miss you, and watch how the universe conspires to bring you exactly what you need. Exactly when you need it. And isn't there something incredibly liberating about that? Knowing that you can stop struggling, stop forcing, stop trying to make things happen. That's not giving up. It's surrendering to a higher wisdom that knows exactly what it's doing. You know what's the most magnetic force in the universe? It's not desperation, it's not longing, and it's certainly not trying to make someone notice you. It's self-love, pure and simple. Think about it like this. Have you ever noticed how cats always seem to gravitate toward the one person in the room who's not trying to pet them? There's a profound wisdom in that seemingly simple behavior. When you're completely content within yourself, you become irresistibly attractive, not just on a physical level, but on an energetic one. Self-love isn't just about bubble baths and positive affirmations, though those are lovely too. It's about developing such a deep, unwavering connection with yourself that you become your own safe harbor. It's about looking in the mirror and truly seeing the divine being staring back at you. Here's what happens on an energetic level when you shift into genuine self-love. Your vibration naturally rises. It's like tuning a radio to a clearer frequency. And since twin flames share the same energetic signature, when you raise your vibration through self-love, your twin can't help but feel it. They might not consciously know what's happening, but something inside them stirs. The moment you start treating yourself like the divine being you are, the universe conspires to reflect that love back to you. I've seen this truth play out countless times in my practice. It's not just a pretty quote, it's spiritual physics in action. Remember, your twin flame connection isn't about completing you. It's about reflecting the completeness that's already there. When you truly get this, when you embody this truth, something miraculous happens. The desperate need for contact dissolves, replaced by a peaceful knowing that whatever happens is perfect divine timing. You're not just working on yourself to get your twin flame to notice you. You're falling in love with yourself because that's what your soul has been crying out for all along. And paradoxically, that's exactly what makes the connection with your twin flame stronger than ever. So today, right now, make a sacred promise to yourself. Promise to love yourself with the same intensity you've been directing outward. Watch how this shifts everything, not just your twin flame connection, but your entire world. Here's the truth that changes everything. The love you're seeking has been within you all along. Your twin flame isn't running from you. They're running toward the version of you that's finally ready to receive the love you've always deserved. You know that feeling when you're holding onto something so tightly that your knuckles turn white? That's exactly what most of us do energetically with our twin flame connections. And ironically, it's precisely what keeps them at a distance. Here's a truth bomb that might sting a little. Attachment is the silent killer of twin flame union. But wait, before you start thinking this means you need to stop caring, because that's not it at all. Let me introduce you to what I call loving detachment. It's like learning to dance with your eyes closed, trusting the rhythm will guide you. I had my acquaintance, James, who was the master of energetic grip. He could tell you exactly what his twin flame had for breakfast, thanks to social media, who they talked to, and what they were doing at any given moment. He thought he was staying connected, but in reality, he was creating an energetic stranglehold that was suffocating their connection. "I feel like I'm going crazy," he confessed to me. "The more I try to hold on, the further away they seem to get." You see, loving detachment is like holding a butterfly. Hold too tight and you'll crush it. Hold too loose and it flies away. The sweet spot? It's in the open palms, the gentle presence, the trust that what's meant for you will always find its way home. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how a watched pot never boils? But the moment you turn your back, boom, it's bubbling away. This isn't just some joke. It's actually a perfect metaphor for energetic detachment in twin flame dynamics. When you're constantly monitoring, checking, obsessing, you're creating a dense energy field that actually repels connection. The art of letting go isn't about giving up. It's about growing up spiritually. This became James's mantra as he learned to loosen his energetic grip. And you know what happened? Within months, his twin flame reached out naturally, organically, without any pushing or pulling from his side. Here's what's really happening beneath the surface. When you practice loving detachment, you're actually aligning with the natural flow of universal energy. It's like swimming with the current instead of against it. Your energy field becomes lighter, clearer, more inviting. You're no longer broadcasting need and lack. Instead, you're transmitting peace and wholeness. The beautiful paradox here is that when you truly master the art of energetic detachment, you actually become more connected than ever, not just to your twin flame, but to your own divine essence. It's like finally understanding that you don't need to hold your breath to keep breathing. The air will flow naturally when you relax and trust. Remember, your twin flame isn't a possession to be claimed or a prize to be won. They're a sacred mirror of your own soul, reflecting back to you exactly what you need to learn and heal. When you can hold this truth with gentle hands and an open heart, you create the perfect conditions for authentic connection to flourish. So today, I invite you to experiment with letting go, not of the love, but of the grip. Trust that what's meant for you cannot possibly miss you. And isn't there something incredibly liberating about that? About knowing that you can release the constant monitoring, the endless check-in, the energetic grasping, and still remain deeply, profoundly connected on a soul level. This is your invitation to dance with freedom, to play in the field of infinite possibilities, to trust in the wisdom of divine timing. Because sometimes the most powerful way to draw something closer is to give it the space to find its way back home. Let me say this, your runner isn't actually running from you. They're running from the shadows that you're triggering in them. And here's the beautiful twist. Those same shadows are mirrors of your own inner darkness waiting to be embraced. Imagine your psyche as a vast mansion. Most of us live comfortably in the well-lit rooms upstairs, but there's an entire basement filled with things we'd rather not look at. Your twin flame connection is like someone suddenly flipping on all the basement lights at once. Scary, absolutely. Necessary, without a doubt. One girl was desperate to understand why her twin flame kept pulling away. "I'm doing everything right," she insisted. "I'm sending love. I'm staying positive." But when we dug deeper, we discovered she was using positivity as a shield against her own unhealed trauma. Her twins running was actually a divine invitation to explore those darker corners of herself. You see, shadow work in twin flame connections is like spiritual archaeology. Each layer you dig through reveals another treasure of self-understanding. And here's the mind-bending part. When you heal a piece of your shadow, you're automatically helping your twin heal theirs. It's quantum entanglement at its finest. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. This Joseph Campbell quote perfectly captures the essence of shadow work in twin flame dynamics. Your runner isn't just running from connection. They're running from the intensity of their own unacknowledged truth that you're reflecting back to them. Start by asking yourself, what aspects of your twin flame trigger you the most? Those triggers are actually signposts pointing to your own healing work. Are you irritated by their inability to commit? Look at your own fear of commitment. Does their emotional unavailability drive you crazy? Time to examine your relationship with your own emotions. Here's a profound truth that changed many. The running phase isn't a punishment, it's a gift. It's the universe creating space for both twins to dive deep into their shadow work without the distraction of physical union. Remember, shadow work isn't about fixing what's broken, it's about reclaiming parts of yourself that you've disowned. It's about looking at your fears, your shame, your anger, and saying, "Welcome home. I've been waiting for you." When you can embrace your own darkness with compassion, you create an energetic permission slip for your twin to do the same. So instead of trying to reach out to your runner, try reaching inward. What parts of yourself have you been running from? What emotions have you labeled as too much? What aspects of your personality have you deemed unlovable? These are the golden keys to not just union with your twin, but union with yourself. Because here's the ultimate paradox of twin flame shadow work. The deeper you go into your own darkness, the more light you have to share. And isn't that what this journey is really about? Not just finding your other half, but becoming whole yourself. Know your shadows aren't your enemies, they're your greatest teachers. And as you learn to dance with your darkness, you might just find that your twin flame starts moving to the same rhythm. You know how a master gardener knows exactly when to plant each seed, when to water, and when to simply let nature do its work? That's exactly how divine timing operates in twin flame connections. Here's the thing about divine timing that most people miss. It's not about waiting passively, it's about active preparation. Think of yourself as a spiritual gardener, carefully preparing the soil of your life for the eventual blooming of your twin flame connection. Every moment of separation is actually a sacred opportunity to create the perfect conditions for union. I'm reminded of a man who was constantly trying to force his timeline onto the universe. "But I'm ready now," he would insist, his energy crackling with frustration. Then one day, while tending to his actual garden, he had an epiphany. "You can't yell at a rosebud to open faster," he told me, laughing at his own previous impatience. "You can only create the conditions for it to bloom in its own perfect time." This is the profound truth about divine timing in twin flame connections. It operates on a level far beyond our human understanding. It's like trying to comprehend the intricate dance of galaxies while standing on a grain of sand. The universe has a master plan that includes not just you and your twin, but countless other souls whose journeys are interwoven with yours. Time is not a river flowing in one direction, an ancient mystic once said, but an ocean in which we swim. In twin flame connections, this couldn't be more true. What feels like waiting on the human level is actually a complex orchestration of energy, healing, and divine alignment on the soul level. Start by creating sacred space in your life, both literally and figuratively. Clear out old energies that no longer serve you. Maybe it's time to rearrange your living space, release old relationships that have run their course, or establish new daily rituals that honor your spiritual growth. Each action you take to create space is like setting another crystal in a sacred grid of possibility. Remember, every moment you spend consciously creating space for divine timing is actually a moment spent in active co-creation with the universe. You're not just waiting, you're weaving the very fabric of your future union. It's like preparing a feast before the guests arrive. There's joy and purpose in the preparation itself. One of my mentors once told me, divine timing isn't about when you think you're ready. It's about when all parties, including the universe itself, are in perfect alignment. This isn't about cosmic punishment or testing. It's about perfect orchestration. So, shift your perspective from waiting to preparing. Ask yourself, how can I make my life so rich, so full, so aligned with my highest truth, that when divine timing brings my twin flame back into my orbit, they'll be stepping into a space that's been lovingly prepared for this sacred reunion? Because here's the magical truth. When you truly understand and align with divine timing, you realize that every moment of separation is actually a moment of preparation for the most beautiful union imaginable. And isn't there something incredibly empowering about that? Trust in the perfect unfolding of your story. The universe hasn't forgotten about you. It's just making sure every detail is absolutely perfect before the next chapter begins. Here's the deal. Loves, the path to twin flame union isn't about doing more. It's about being more. Being more authentic, more self-loving, more trusting in divine timing. Remember, your twin flame connection is eternal. No amount of physical separation can break that bond. So release the need to control and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Have you been trying too hard to make something happen with your twin flame? Maybe it's time to try a different approach. Let go, focus on you, and watch the magic unfold. After all, that's what this journey is really about. Becoming the best version of yourself, with or without your twin by your side.